This is a very short, easy to follow yin yoga routine for anyone who happens to sit at a desk, use a phone or devices all day long. Our bodies are meant to move. Also, you can get your copy of Watch Ya Language right now, heading over to Booktopia, Amazon, or on my website, watchyalanguage.com. Let's get into it. Starting simply in a seated position or a position that suits you to pause. I'm sitting on a yoga block, but you can use whatever you have handy, and straight away dropping into your body. Maybe this is the first time you've taken a pause today. To actually check in, take a breath in and a breath out. Landing yourself right here. Just a simple body awareness practice from the Be Here method I talk on in the book. As you sit here, breathing in and breathing out, simply say the words to yourself, I see you, body. What do you notice going on? Tight shoulders, bloating, poor digestion, racing heart, short breath, tight hips. And without judging it, just simply notice, I see you, body. Now with awareness, not judgment, simply notice the emotion. I feel you, emotion. What are you experiencing right now? Do you feel joy? Do you feel content? Do you feel anxious? Just simply notice. Breathe in, breathe out. Gently opening your eyes, and let's start to bring the hands forward. On an exhale, rounding the spine, and inhale, start to open. Just letting yourself sit with what you just acknowledged in your body. Bringing the breath now to a more physical practice. Exhale, round, and inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round, and inhale to lengthen. When you feel ready, maybe you do a few more of those. Just come over onto your hands and your knees. And we're going to make our way into our first shape, which is our yoga squat. Now, I mentioned in the start of the video that a block would be helpful. This is what you might want to use it for. If a squat doesn't work for you, you can always lie on your back and come into happy baby. Or of course, if you feel like you have some space and freedom in the hips, then drop yourself down to your squat. We really want to try to keep the heels on the floor and lift the inner arches so the knees aren't medially rotating in. Find space in your vertebrae by really allowing the spine to drop down to the floor. And I've rested my elbows on the inside of my knees and just closed down my eyes. In yin yoga, there are 3 tenets that we adhere to, and the practice of yin works with the joints. It is nothing to do with the muscles. When we think about our joints are underlying everything. And if we don't oil our car, we're going to end up with a car that's pretty rigid, pretty stiff, it doesn't move well, and things are going to get stuck. Exactly the same thing is going to happen with our bodies. So yin yoga works with the connected tissue and fascia. It sends a message from the brain to our bodies for this connected tissue and fascia to loosen its grip and let go. So we're just finding a space where we can be still. We drop in at about 60%. This is called our edge. We don't push past that. That's called striving. That's called the effort and the looking for more. We're just looking to sit in a little bit of discomfort. The last tenet is we stay for time. So I really invite you now just to close down your eyes, to be in this present moment by focusing on your inhalation and your exhalation. And I'll let you know when we come out. Take a big, deep breath in. On your exhale, reach for your block or whatever prop you have, and we're going to uplift the hips here, coming into a delicious forward fold. Our forward folds are so necessary for anyone who happens to sit in a chair. When we sit down, we are actually putting our hips in a hinge motion. Now the hip is a ball and socket joint, right? Which means that most of us from kindergarten have been trying to tell our hip that we are a hinge, not a ball and socket. So over time, what happens is the quadriceps, the hip flexors, the psoas, and the hamstrings get really, really tight because the hip is not being utilized as a hip, and this is going to have a knock-on effect onto your spine. So this particular pose, you can use the block for support, bend your knees. My hamstrings are really tight today, and allow your spine to soften and let go. Your head is heavy. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just let go. Allow yourself not to fight this pose, but more so soften into it, creating length in the backside of the body. Beautiful. From here, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we come down to the ground onto all fours. And I just want you to be curious here. Like we did at the start of the practice, I asked you to check into your body and what emotions you notice going through your body. We're always feeling emotion. It's energy in motion. We're always feeling something. But tension shows in the body. So anytime we are possibly living in our reactivity or our spinal sympathetic system, right, living in stress, it's actually going to show up in our bodies. And if we can recognize what that looks like, we can actually do something about it. I talk about that much more in my book, Watch Your Language, or you can jump on my website for my online courses and learn how to recognize what stress, tension, reactivity, anxiety, all of that looks like in our bodies, and choose to let the tension go by softening the body, opening the heart, and choosing what it is we give our attention to. So freely just move your body here, just allowing yourself to let go of your day, to let go of any tension in the SCM muscle into the trapezius. Maybe it's a back bend. Listen to what you need. Breathe in. Breathe out. And just move fluidly for a few more breaths. So slowly just mooch your way out of that. You should be feeling a little bit more loose now, hopefully in your body. We're now going to come into a delicious heart opener. Now I'm using the block here because it's a really nice prop. Now I'm really dropping my elbows onto the block and allowing my sternum to drop down to the ground. The hips are over the knees. If you need to at any point, you can walk the knees back a little bit. The block is a great prop and it allows you to find a little bit of space into the triceps as well. Now if you would prefer, you can drop down into traditional melting heart with the arms extended and the sternum dropping down to the ground, and either the forehead on a block or the cheek on the ground, or the chin might come to the floor, just depending on how tight we might be through that upper back. This pose is absolutely amazing for anyone who does sit at a desk. Again, we really need to look at finding the opposite of what we're doing for our hips and our shoulders so that we can bring our bodies back to equilibrium. Breathe in. Breathe out and just stay with your breath. Just taking about 3 more breaths here, fully in. fully out, fully in, fully out. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, just slowly make the transition. Pull your belly to spine and wind your body into a child's pose and take 3 breaths here, putting our spine in flexion, space between the vertebra. When you feel ready, you're going to mooch yourself forward into a prone position, untuck the toes, press the pubic bone gently down. Now the first variation of Sphinx is to rest your head on your fists or drop your forearms down to the ground, the elbows are under the shoulders, and shine your heart forward. If this is too intense, you're more than welcome to grab a yoga block, which you should have somewhere near you, and rest your forehead on the yoga block. I just had a conversation there with one of my clients. The good thing about being able to edit videos is you can pause and you can re-jump in whenever you like. So just taking whichever variation works for you in that Sphinx pose, but really listening into your spine. What we're actually doing here is compressing the joints in and around the lower lumbar. This is so healthy for the spine. So we're not only allowing the nutrient-rich blood to move through the spine here, but we're actually, it's like the joints in this compression, of course, and it's almost like you're holding a sponge full of water, right? It's tight and it's compressed. And when you let this pose go, what actually happens is we get all this nourishment, right? The water, say you let go of the sponge and it just starts to seep into the low back. So nutrient-rich blood plus synovial fluid moving through the joints, but the connected tissue and fascia are getting the message from the brain to actually just soften, release, and let go. So I've come up into seal pose here. Please know that that is not necessary. I didn't do seal for many, many years, but as I've practiced yin and as I've started to open up and be a lot less contracted in my nervous system, this pose is coming to me a lot easier now. Take about 3 more breaths here. And only when you feel ready, we're going to come down to a rebound on our bellies and pause. Pay attention now to how you're feeling. Ask yourself the question, I see you, body. I feel you, emotion. What is it that I need right now? I hope you're feeling so relaxed. This is a beautiful one again for anybody who works at a desk. Now, my left arm or my left hand is actually in line with my left shoulder, and I'm slowly going to use my right fingertips to rotate and bring the top hip over, coming into scorpion stretch, an amazing twist for the thoracic, but also into the front of the deltoid and the pec minor major. So my head is rested on the ground here, and you can either choose to stay here, or if you have the mobility into the top shoulder, you might even thinking about lifting up that top arm and bringing it around in a bind if that suits you and if it feels good in your body. Again, yin is not about force. It's actually about surrender and letting go. We want to find a place of discomfort but not pain. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take 1 more full breath in, lifting up the hand if it was there, and exhale, slowly roll back to a neutral position and just pause for a moment before rolling to that other side. This is one of my favorite twists. I've actually included a lot of my favorite shapes in this practice. Because myself too, being a writer, 1, sitting a lot, and 2, overextension into the upper back, the infraspinatus, overuse of the trapezius and the SCM muscle, it really plays a role, and hence why yin is something I try and do every single night before I go to bed. Take about 5 breaths here, fully in and fully out. And of course, in your own time, you're going to make your way back down to the ground. We are going to flop over. I'm going to offer this delicious shape. Again, this is a heart opener. Again, trying to match the opposite of what we might do at a desk. The block goes on the lowest height to, if this is brand new to you, and we elevate up through the sternum, let the head rest down onto the ground. Or if you are feeling quite open in your neck and SCM and trapezius and upper back, you can of course have the block where I do. It is right across where the bra strap would be. You can see me trying to get a little comfortable here. I was actually sliding with my feet. And then the arms go out to a Y shape. If this does not suit you, remove the block and just lie on the ground. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let your throat space be open, the heart is lifted, the hips are open, and the body is now in a state to receive. Breathe in, breathe out. And I want you to know that in any moment you always have a choice, right? If we continue to move along the practices of busyness, stress, overwhelm, and reactivity, then we are only going to become our environment. If we want to see change, we must actually take a pause to recognize what it is that we are practicing and interrupt the synaptic hardwired connections of busyness, reactivity, stress, and overwhelm, and choose again with a choice that gives us more energy, that looks after our body, and that complements the things we do on a daily basis. And that choice is always on us. Breathe in, breathe out. It'll be your last breath here, and as you do and in your own time, please support your head with your hands and very slowly engaging your core, bring yourself up. Remove your block, lie straight back down to the ground as we settle in for a short Shavasana. If you are thinking of skipping this and getting on with your day, I ask you to pause. Let go. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Turn your palms up. Feel the weight of your head on the earth beneath you. Let your feet flop open. Take a huge breath in and an open mouth breath out. Be here now. I'll let you know when to come out. If you can stay a little longer, stay. If not, just bend your knees and pause, placing your hands on your heart or your body and saying thank you. Thank you to this incredible vehicle that you have, 2 feet and a heartbeat, the ability to breathe, to move, to do this, the ability to get to enjoy your day, whatever it may bring. Guys, you get to have today. We don't know what's going to unfold tomorrow, so right now dive into utmost gratitude as you roll to your side and pause. What is it that you're grateful for? What is the energy that you are going to carry into your day and share to somebody else? Because that's on us. Slowly come up to seated, pausing here with the eyes closed. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Soften your face and open your heart. This is a body and a mind that is open. Offer yourself compassion, and that reflects to others. Take a moment, bring your hands to your heart, to your mouth, and then to your third eye. Taking a moment to honor your practice, and from my heart to yours. Namaste. I'm so grateful for you guys taking the time to put yourselves first, because we can never ever pour from an empty cup. Thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know how you felt in the comments.